So I'm happy to introduce Mr. Mike Fitzgerald.
Boy, that Ryan, he's done a really good job getting our message out all across the 4th District. Impossible job, but he's taking it to them. So thank you for doing it, and hopefully we'll have a big surprise on election night. Those guys, he's really laying it out there, giving great speeches. You're on TV, Iowa Press did a fantastic job. So thank you. And I tell you, Story County Democrats, you're the best. Of course, I'm prejudiced because I grew up Colo. You know, my roots in Story County are real deep. That I have a great-grandfather buried in the Nevada Cemetery, and a great-grandfather and a grandfather buried over in Colo Cemetery. So we have the roots, homesteaded down here south. Used to call it Iowa Center. I don't know if it gets a name like that anymore or not, but I'm down there. Of course, we got the best sheriff in the whole state of Iowa, Paul Fitzgerald. I tell people, you know, you see that name Fitzgerald on the ballot, vote for it. But I saw Ted Rasmussen. To me, he's our county treasurer, great treasurer, doing a great job, great next generation. And to me, he's a Carmody. I could go back about the same length of time naming his grandparents and such. But I see all the great things that Story County does these days. Oh, that's a Democrat county. And Mary Richards here and Jane Halliburton, the real leaders that have brought this county forward. And there's I've seen so many others here that I don't want to start naming. I'll forget everybody, but or miss somebody. But Story County is a great Democrat county, but it didn't always used to be that way. You know, when I was a kid back in the 60s, a guy named Rex Gross. They didn't have any Democrats in the courthouse, and they always said, you know, there'll never be a Democrat in the Story County courthouse. Well, Rex Gross ran, and by God, he won. And so what the first thing he did, he tore down that old courthouse, and he built that new one on the south end of Main Street. But Democrats have been gaining ever since. And, you know, I think about Democrats just got to tell it like it is, laying it out, why people should be Democrats and such. My grandfather said, you know, back in the late 40s when Harry Truman was president, he came to Iowa to give a speech, but it was west of Des Moines somewhere, and a bunch of the farmers, they went down there to hear him speak. And, you know, out in the country, there's no nice platforms like this, so what did they do? Well, they're farmers, so they pulled out this manure spreader. And Harry gets up on it and he says, you know, this is the first time I've ever spoke from the Republican platform. So that's, you know, that's the kind of attitude we got to have in straightening out these Republicans and what they're standing for and doing. And it's Story County's been doing it. You know, so Charlie Bruner was back there. You know, by God, he was one of the best legislators we ever had as well. You know, and we've just had great ones, and but that's what we have to do all across the state. And I think we're gaining momentum. You know, I couldn't believe that poll this morning in Des Moines Register, where Franken's only 3 points behind. That's a tie. They're gaining on them. Deidre had the endorsement of the Des Moines Register, which she has earned. So we're gaining. But it's going to have, we need the help and the heft and the push from the good Democrats here. Because, you know, there's still a lot of counties out there where there's hardly any Republicans. But we make up for it in Story County. Because it is you know, it's a county we can count on. And that, yeah, it's hard to believe when I hear, you know, Ted doesn't have an opponent and Ross doesn't have an opponent and things like that. Think of how life has changed. But there's places where it hasn't. So we need that effort right here in Story County for the Democrats. Now, you know, I'm running for state treasurer. I'm running for my 11th term. Story County's been great, great to me. And I'm a Democrat because Democrats like to help people. And the treasurer's office, we've done things to help people. Besides keeping the money safe and all that, And for everybody that has a public employee or something, I'm keeping that IPER safe. Yeah. And you talk about back in the blue, Democrats do, and how you back them, you pay for them, and you guarantee their retirement package. They have, if you're in a lot of these highway patrolmen and, our cops and firemen, and they're in what they call a 411 system. It's a defined benefit plan. Well, the Republicans want to change that to a 401k. So they wouldn't be able to retire in their 50s and all that, and attract the good people that we have to that industry. But Democrats stand up for the retirement benefits and the pay packages of all workers. And I will continue to do the same. As a matter of fact, I'm advocating for a retirement program for, half the people in Iowa that are over 55 have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. That's going to cause a problem. And half the people in Iowa work for small businesses like in Nevada and Colo and stuff like that. No access to a retirement program where they work. If you work at a restaurant or maybe the nursing home or lumberyard, you don't have any retirement plan. And I'm advocating that we start what we call a retirement savings Iowa. Don't cost the businesses a thing. It's just that if the employees, and 85% of them say they want to, if you want to have 3% of your salary taken out each pay period and sent to the state where we can professionally invest it and keep it going for you. And let's say a year from now you quit working at this restaurant, but you go work at the nursing home in Ames, well, you can have them start sending the money in from Ames, wherever you travel to. And I'll tell you, not only do people want this, I hear from businesses all over the state, they want it. How do we keep our employees if we don't have a retirement plan? And we can't set up a retirement plan. We only have 3 people at the plumber's shop here. So this is how you do it. Republicans won't do it. Wall Street doesn't want anybody touching in on their business. But I'm working for that, and I'll keep fighting for it. Eventually we get some more Democrats in there, we'll have that. But I hope there are, in the last couple minutes, I'll say there's a couple of things we do too that I want to remind you of. The Great Iowa Treasure Hunt. I'm holding $500 million for people. 50 million come in last year. I've got thousands of names right here in Story County, and some of them are pretty big. There was a good Democrat got about $46,000 last year back. So all I ask you to do, get the Google machine out after we leave here and Google the Great Iowa Treasure Hunt, and there'll be a box there. Put in your name. And women, put in your maiden name and your mother's maiden name. And you'll see that list. If you're Fitzgerald, you'll probably see a lot of them listed there. Or if you're Smith, oh boy, you'll have to take a while. But it's you'll see, if you don't see yourself, you probably see somebody in your family you know. And I want to return that money. And 600,000 people have gotten money back at the time I've been treasurer. So check that out for yourself and your family. Also, we have the best college savings program in the country. Kids, it's getting impossible to go to college. And you can start one of these plans, put as little as $25, get professional management, you get great tax breaks. You get to deduct what you put in from your Iowa taxes. It grows tax-free. You go anywhere in the country you want to college. It just works great. It's grown like wildfire. We have $7 billion in it now. But I like to tell people too, $4.5 billion has been taken out to send kids to college. So it really works. And the final thing I want to mention, we started, thanks to the Democrats in the legislature, before they left, we lost it in 2017, we started what we call IABLE. It stands Iowa, Achieving a Better Life Experience. And what's that for? If you're an Iowan who's disabled, maybe you have to, be on a government assistance and stuff, you're cut off at $2,000. You get any more than that, they cut your benefits. So you're just kind of desperate. Who wants that? Families, all families want to kind of kick in and help that person succeed. Maybe live on their own. Maybe get in a motorized wheelchair or whatever, make a better life experience for them. Well, this is a program families can kick in, get the same tax deductions as College Savings Iowa would get. And they put it in just one fund for the individual, and you can work your way up to $100,000. Takes a while. But, you know, you want to see everybody in our family that has disabled have that opportunity. So I'm proud of that program. I've had it 7 years. It just keeps growing. Got about 1,800 people in it now, and at about $15 million. So it just keeps growing. When people hear about it, they like it. And that, so that's something Democrats do, help people, help them live life better. So I'll keep doing that. And you know, like all the Democrats you've heard from today, they want to help folks. And getting back to, you know, the biggest punches we can give is we can get people out there to support Franken, Ryan over there, get him in there, legislatures, Deidre. We need them all. We need that Democratic team, and we can get this state moving. So, Story County, you're wonderful. Thanks for giving me a few minutes. Keep up the good work. You're just doing great, and thank you very much.